Ready to launch your business? Get started with the commerce platform made for entrepreneurs. Shopify is specially designed to help you start
Mario Kart 8!
many times? Luffy, this always ends the same way. You never learn, do you?
Your dog is so trash.
Nah, what'd you say about my dog? Go get him, Rufus.
This medallion is so bad, Fortnite pros are dropping it. The aspect of combat medallion grants between a 4.5 to 6% damage increase depending on the weapon that's being used. Now this sounds like a lot, but in reality this means one shot from a blue burst SMG goes from dealing 26 damage to dealing 27. So the medallion is not amazing, but is it really that bad that players are dropping it? In order to obtain the medallion, you have to land at Brawler's Battleground, loot, probably fight a contesting team, and then fight the boss and his minions. Now, for the Mythic Warforged AR, this is definitely worth it because this thing just shreds. However, all of this just takes a lot of time. Since the drop spot is at the very edge of the map, if a zone pulls far away, you're most likely going to end up in the storm because this has just taken so long. Since holding medallion highlights where players are on the map, other teams can just sit at the edge of the storm and wait for you to rotate into them and either fight you or just continually farm you for storm surge damage. So pros are dropping it so they can rotate safely out of the storm. This medallion is so bad, Fortnite pros are dropping it. The aspect of combat medallion grants between a 4.5 to 6% damage increase depending on the weapon that's being used. Now this sounds like a lot, but in reality this means one shot from a blue burst SMG goes from dealing 26 damage to dealing 27. So the medallion is not amazing, but is it really that bad that players are dropping it? In order to obtain the medallion, you have to land at Brawler's Battleground, loot, probably fight a contesting team, and then fight the boss and his minions. Now, for the Mythic Warforged AR, this is definitely worth it because this thing just shreds. However, all of this just takes a lot of time. Since the drop spot is at the very edge of the map, if a zone pulls far away, you're most likely going to end up in the storm because this has just taken so long. Since holding medallion highlights where players are on the map, other teams can just sit at the edge of the storm and wait for you to rotate into them and either fight you or just continually farm you for storm surge damage. So pros are dropping it so they can rotate safely out of the storm. This medallion is so bad, Fortnite pros are dropping it. The aspect of combat medallion
Okay, class, sound it out with.
If you're American when you go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and log off for today. This is the last time I saved. It's probably fine. All right, let's log back in. Congratulations, it's a boy. Bro, ain't no way.
Hey, you feed the machine, bring them all back down.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
Start your free 3-day now. And feel the thrill as you conquer opponents and become a legend. But what happens when your connection fails? Introducing ExitLag, the ultimate solution to your connection problems. Say goodbye to lag, packet loss, and high ping, and choose the server where you want to play. No more lag and frustrating disconnects. Choose ExitLag, the trusted choice of countless players worldwide. Elevate your gaming performance to new heights. Boost your game. Get 3 free days at exitlag.com.
And my gameplay has never felt better. 1212 for my ADS speed, linear for the look input curve of course, then for my dead zone, I had to raise it because this new controller has stick drift as well. I guess I'm just doomed to have stick drift for the rest of my life, F it though, because I don't mind playing on a tall dead zone since I feel like lower dead zones can y'all out. Okay, so for our video settings, I use full screen. A lot
I've been playing Fortnite on controller for over 6 years. From the OG Season 1 Chapter 1 days all the way until today, now in Chapter 5. And while I go through these settings, I'm going to explain the important ones a little more in depth, just so everyone really understands them. And honestly, none of these movement settings are really that important. I do like toggle sprint on. Combat, hold to swap pickup is nice, not really necessary though. Toggle targeting, I definitely have off. Not a great setting because you click your L2 to aim in, and then you have to click it again to aim out, which is slow and so awkward. And then nice, not really necessary though. Toggle targeting, I definitely have off. Not a great setting because you click your L2 to aim in, and then you have to click it again to aim out, which is slow and so awkward. And then preferred item slots is actually pretty important. It's pretty self-explanatory. It basically means whenever you pick up a weapon, it'll go straight into the slot that you assign it to. So like every time I pick up a shotgun, it goes in my first slot. If I pick up an SMG, it goes in my second slot. If I pick up a sniper, it goes into my last slot, and then my loadout is complete. The 2 heals will go into slots 3 and 4. I think a lot of people realize. Resale building choice is actually more important for controller players than I think a lot of people realize. Resale building choice doesn't matter as much, but I like to have it on. Disable pre-edits, I tell all controller players to turn this on. Pre-edits only get used in like incredibly rare situations, and usually only if you're in like sweaty lobbies. But the issue on controller is that sometimes if you edit too fast or you're on higher ping, you can accidentally pre-edit something, and then you're over here in the middle of a build fight, and that can obviously throw you off. And then you have to come over here and reset it. And in my opinion, for controller players, it's just not good at all. Mouse and keyboard players can pull it off a little better. Then turbo building obviously on, and auto confirm edits I put on both. This basically makes it so I don't have to use double edit binds. So if I want to edit a build, I click my edit bind, which is my right paddle, and then I just click this, and as soon as I let this go, the build confirms. And resetting is the same way. I click this to select the edit, and then all I have to do is click in my right stick and it confirms. To me, this really just simplifies editing and makes it so so easy and so fast, actually. I mean, even pros like Bugha that are on keyboard or mouse use confirm edit on release. And I think especially on controller where your buttons are so limited, it just makes sense to have this on both. You mind if you want, or you can put it on whatever you feel comfortable with. In replays, if you want to maximize your FPS, maximize your performance, turn all your replays off. Now we get over to the game UI tab. In this reticle, you obviously want on. Ammo indicator, I prefer off. Damage numbers, I prefer to list because cumulative can kind of get confusing. Like if you crack someone's shield and then hit him for white, it keeps counting up, but it'll go from like 96 blue to 120 white. And then when you're in the moment, when you're in the fight, you're like, oh, I don't know how much white I just hit him for. It says 120 white. So then you might push in with like an SMG thinking they're low when in reality you only hit them for like 20 white. So personally, I just keep this on list.
At T-Mobile, we're committed to serving those who serve. That's why we offer 40% off family lines for.
And then when I hit players, say I hit a player for 33, that to be as big as possible. HUD scale, I actually recommend going a little bit higher than I do so you can kind of see your weapons easier. Well, because I have my face in hand cam here, it'll block my weapons or block my mats, so that's why I have it as low as I do. Then for the rest of these, a lot of these are like vital to information that you have to know in game, so I wouldn't really mess with these. The only one that's I think off by default that I like to turn on is net debug stats, so you can actually see your ping in game. And now with this tab completed, we get over to the touch and motion controls. This is like the gyro aiming. Not all players can even use this, and that's good because it's really a controller. Because the controller is so bad, you almost need the extra help in being able to move it. Otherwise, for every single up to copy control, we don't care too much about any of that. I like to split your stick even while building custom. What this setting means 6 years off or on, and custom bind, so applies even while having this off, so that's kind of nice. Build immediately, this only applies if you use Builder Pro, which most players have at least one custom bind, so that'll change this over to custom. So if you have custom binds, this can be off or on, it doesn't matter. Edit hold time, I feel like people know what this setting means 6 years into the game, but every time this seems to help at least one person. So edit hold time only actually matters is that over in your binds, if you go down here to building, this first little bubble that says switch mode / edit hold, if you play the game and you have to click this button to pull out your builds and then you have to hold this button to edit, you are missing out on so much speed. So if you use the same button to pull your builds and edit, this is the only time down. And they set, most people are doing is they completely get rid of this bind and then they go down and they set a set are doing is the same button to pull your builds and this speed, and then those buttons I can come with are still instant. So at hold time, I'm usually rocking anywhere from like a point pitch, but a bit at all. You can set this to whatever you want and it's not going to change literally anything. But again, I just leave it at the default, which I think is pitch and 0.1. Vibration kind of seems like a meaningless setting, but it's actually sort of important for your aim. I mean, if you're over here shooting and your controller is like vibrating and buzzing everywhere, that can obviously throw your aim off like a minuscule amount, but when you're going for those really long range shots, it matters. Another useless setting. There's honestly so many useless, just kind of annoying. Then quick weapon. Not to make control the fast, but then the other fast from here to just turn it off is coming. It's literally a bind. But finally, after all the useless settings, we get to some actual sensitivities that matter. But first of all, if your settings look like this, you need to come over here to use advanced options, click confirm, and turn this on. That's gonna black out the look and aim sense, which is fine because these don't matter at all. Some people tell you the settings, but what does reason horizontal invert this is your edit sense, obviously. But once you get out of this, this right here is your look sense. So that's what that 43% is. And in a close range encounter, you're basically taking all of your shotgun and SMG shots from your look sense. That's why it really is probably your most important sensitivity in the game. And now they build and edit. These are called to the free speed rate. Is that because which is to just be fast, but so this is 86. My look sense is now incredibly fast, but my build sense is literally the exact same speed. So that's why the build and edit sensitivities are simply multiplying your build sense that these settings give you, turn it down to say 38. That give you about the same build and edit sense. Using the ADS boost is overrated in 8% ADS sense. Look, vertical speed with no boost. Once again, I think boost is overrated, and the ADS sense is kind of self-explanatory. ADS stands for aim down. There's a slim section like this, side to side. My sniping this season has been probably my out of the sky. If we turn this on pretty fast, and it's still a practice map, or even like over to the advanced sensitivity tab where the look dampening time is, which I set as 0 seconds. The look input curve is, which I set at linear, which is what most players use, and it's kind of just what I recommend. It makes your controller feel and act more like mouse and keyboard, where exactly where you move the stick is exactly where the crosshair goes. Exponential kind of ramps up here, and that's what I recommend. And this is my scuff, obviously 100. We want to abuse that as much as possible. And then controller dead zone. This is my Scuff Envision, which, by the way, go ahead and use code Carter2K at Scuff checkout for a discount. I did just recently get a code with Scuff, but this is a brand new controller, so I could go all the way down to 5 if I wanted to. But for most controllers, I would say you could get away with like a 10 dead zone. And if you do this and still get stick drift, which is basically where your crosshair, until that doesn't happen anymore. Because stick drift is bad, that can throw off a lot. And then flip control times in this video, this controller actually has paddles on the back. It has 4 of them, and it also has 2 side buttons on it. So my buttons are super unique to being optimized for this specific controller. I mean, even and then I edit getting good buttons for the last tab, whatever. I can get reps in the Envision. I always get the guns, bro. Let's go. That is the best buttons for every single type of play, optimized for this specific controller. I mean, even down to picking up weapons, like I don't even click X or square anymore. I literally hold down this side button to turbo pick up. And then I edit with my paddles, I sprint with my paddle. Specific setup here is where you want. You can get right in the game. This chest is like a 50-50 every time, but because I am using my Scuff Envision, I always get the guns, bro. Let's go. Oh, and I'm on a match. Oh, 136 for the win. Let's go, bro. So there we go. Make sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching.
In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the best binds for every controller. Start off with claw players. If you use claw on Xbox controller, then use these binds. Right stick for your jump, use A to crouch, Y for your pick. Pickaxe, then use B for your switch mode. When it comes to edit binds, use RT to select pickaxe, then use B for your switch mode. When it comes to edit binds, use RT to select pickaxe controller, then reload such as binds for your switch mode. When it comes to use A to crouch, Y for your pickaxe, then use B for your switch mode. When it comes to edit binds, use RT to select, LT to confirm, and RB to reset. Then lastly, edit building should be set to the left stick. Here's a quick run through of the binds. As you take a look at these, remember what I said about binding all the actions into each section. Now, if you're a claw player but on a PlayStation controller, here's what your binds should be looking like. X to jump, square to reload/interact, bind your left as others, and then left stick to edit building. Now, here's a quick run through of all of these binds. Okay, now for my standard grip players, you're going to want to have your right stick binded to jump, X to reload/interact, Y for your pickaxe, B for your switch mode. For your edit binds, these don't matter too much because as a standard grip player with no paddles, you should have autoconfirm edit set to both. Your edit building bind though should be left stick. Here's a run through of all the binds. If you're a PlayStation player, you should bind sprint to your touchpad. Okay, next to reload/interact. Okay, now for my standard grip players, you're going to want to have your right stick binded to jump, X to reload. Okay, now for my standard grip players, you're going to want to have your right stick binded to jump, X to reload/interact, Y for your pickaxe.
Here's why I stopped shopping on Amazon, and you should too. Don't.
Not today, is it? Mighty Patch pimple patches reveal clear-looking skin overnight. Pimple, meet your Mighty Patch.
Are you a Roblox fanatic? Microsoft Rewards has a brand new way for you to earn
Maybe it'll be like a world record. Tiniest pizza. Michael says